Marston's Domain.
Hey everyone, Marson here, and today I want to talk about the DK rumors, and the Kongs in particular, because this came up during one of my live streams, and we ended up thinking of something that I definitely wanted to talk about, but we'll get to that. So let's talk about returning Kongs. So I think the obvious one is Donkey Kong. I think for this game, Donkey Kong will be playable. I don't think they'll do something like they did with the older games where he's just not playable. And then I think Diddy is pretty much guaranteed to be in. I can't imagine them not having Diddy. But then Dixie Kong and Cranky Kong, I'm not too sure about. I really hope Dixie Kong is in. Funky Kong, I don't think will be playable. I feel like that was just a Tropical Freeze thing. But there is a chance, though, that some Kongs return, and they may not be playable, but they play a role in the game. So what I was thinking of is if they want to have a huge throwback to just Donkey Kong in general, and they just want to go all out, I think that they could bring Kongs back where they play more of like a side quest role. So if Chunky Kong were to come back, I think that he could have some sort of strength minigame type of thing where you have to mash the A button or something, and then they could bring Lanky Kong back. And whenever you see Lanky Kong, it's some sort of obstacle course you have to race through. Which I kind of hope they go this route, because they could have it to be where there's side missions where you play as these Kongs. But that's where it gets tricky, because if they don't do it right, then they'll be a part of the game that's always just kind of a nuisance. Because the game that I think of with this is Crash 4. To be clear, I'm not the biggest Crash Bandicoot fan anymore. I used to enjoy the games as a kid, but I'm just not really too into the series now. But when I was playing Crash 4, I really did not like using the other characters. And that's where it's tricky, because when you have sections like that, you have to nail it. Because otherwise, now you just have a thing you have to do in the game that you don't really want to do, even if you love the game. And if they want to go fully old school with some of the stuff, maybe Funky Kong has his old role, where you just talk to him to be able to fly to different areas. And maybe Wrinkly Kong comes back to save. Maybe Cranky Kong is back, except Cranky Kong's just giving you tips again. But there's one concept, if you will, that I want to discuss. And this came up during one of my live streams. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, I don't know if we could even think about this right now, because now this is just getting too exciting. What if they introduce a new Kong? There's really nothing stopping them from doing this. And I think if they do this right, this could be the start of something really, really cool. Because we haven't got a new Kong in a long time. The only thing that I know of that they did was they altered how Tiny Kong looks now when they did the Diddy Kong Racing remake. But that's about it. We haven't got a new Kong in a really long time. So if they were to introduce a new Kong, this could be really exciting. Because I think Dixie Kong is really cool, but I think a part of why Dixie Kong became one of my favorite Kongs is because I really like the way how she plays. I think her playstyle is the most fun when it comes to Donkey Kong Country. So if they introduce a new Kong, and the playstyle's fun, this Kong could end up being a new fan favorite. Now for me personally, I don't know if I could ever like another Kong more than Dixie Kong, but you never know. Although I really don't think that could happen with me. But it would still just be really cool though to see a new Kong. And I would like to say this too, because even if they have a new Kong, and that Kong ends up being one that I don't like, it still makes things interesting. Because I'm someone that's not a fan of Kiddy Kong or Chunky Kong, and I still talked about how Chunky Kong could be in the game. And that's where I kind of see this as the same thing with how I am with Slippy and Tails, where I don't like Slippy, and I don't like Tails. But for them to not be in the game, it wouldn't be the same. So if they introduce a Kong that I don't end up liking, and maybe others don't end up really liking either, I still think it can make things interesting. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all this. If you enjoyed this and want to support more content, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.